Behind me today I have the 2023 Hyundai Kona N. Let's take a look at the full tour. I'm going to let you know everything you need to know, and then I'm going to strap a GoPro on my forehead and we're going to take it for a drive. Let's get started. So, taking a look, 2023 Kona N. That is one nice color with those red accents. It doesn't get much better. It's a super compact SUV. So from the side profile right here, you can actually see that it's pretty compact. It's pretty small for a crossover SUV, which is nice because you can probably fit it in a lot of tiny parking spaces. And you also get the performance to boot. You got your 19-inch nice N labeled tires here as well, with the nice big red brakes, which we love red brakes here on the channel. I'm a sucker for red brakes, so it's absolutely nice to have that right there. Check that out. Going on to the back of the car, also sporty, massive rear diffuser, and also two huge exhausts, which is probably the highlight of this car because it's so loud. It's so loud. It's so well tuned and well refined as well. You also have keyless entry. One press unlocks the door, one press locks the door. Nice red accents on the bottom again too. It's just so nice. It's such a nice little compact performance SUV. It's exactly what you need if you're in the market for one of these. And look at that angle right there. Check that out. All right, front of the car now. You can see that they've taken the front emblem, the front Hyundai logo, and actually just put it right on the grille, which I like, instead of on the front. You also have some cooling stuff in the front there too. Daytime LEDs, super bright headlights, no automatic stuff, nothing like that, but doesn't matter. Not really in the price point for that anyways. Taking a quick look at the trunk as well. Quite a bit of space actually, even for the size of the car, the compact SUV. Still got quite a bit of room, and you have this also nice little privacy thing, so when you close the trunk, this will come over. A little bit of storage underneath, not too bad. So yeah, pretty good. Climbing in just to the rear of the car, not a lot of room back here, especially for somebody that's tall. You can see here I'm sitting behind my driving seat and I don't have that much room, but really nice. Here's your little armrest. Not too bad at all. I don't recommend doing road trips back here, but just for the simple little sitting time that you might be back here, it's probably no issue. Before we look at the front, let's take a look at that exhaust sound. On the interior here, there just isn't that much color, besides the steering wheel, of course, and you got your digital gauge cluster, 10.25-inch infotainment display, very nice. You'll mind that little camera thing, that's for when I was filming for PRN. Very nice cloth and leather mix. Again, just not a lot of color, so I did find it boring. I mean, the vents are pretty interesting, so that's cool to look at, to see. You have your N-grin shift button here, which when we drive, you'll see that. I'll give that a press. You have your colored in N button, which this button right here actually allows you to go into full N mode. So traction control is pretty much off, and the exhaust is just chaos. This is your N custom mode, so you can actually set up custom modes in the infotainment here, where you can see I can have my engine, my steering, I can change it however I want. I've configured it so that the ride is kind of comfortable, the engine's not using so much gas, but the exhaust is as loud as it can go. The heads-up display is doing the sport. And also, let me show you, there's a button here, which I don't drive too often, but you press this button, boom. And just wait a couple seconds, you can see our display rising, and then it'll turn itself on. You can have it on or off. Usually I keep it off because it's kind of like this weird plastic thing, so I don't use it so much, but still super nice option to have. Let's press the button again, and it just disappears. You have your different drive modes, of course. You have your eco, you have your sport, normal mode, you know, the standard stuff, nothing too crazy. Single zone climate control, heated seats, heated steering, everything you're looking for in this kind of price point, this kind of car. You can see they have like these N bucket seats. So my driver's seat here is electronically controlled, but these ones are not, which is what you'd expect again in the price point. But I would have liked them to see them do the N treatment, the Elantra N treatment, where you see the N logo right here actually lights up on the Elantra N. It doesn't on this one. It'd be nice to see it. Fuel economy is decent, not too bad. Overall, very nice car. Very, very fun to drive. Absolutely no complaints there. Also, you have a Harman Kardon sound speaker, which is very nice. Very, very nice. What you see is what you get in these models. You also have a wireless charging pad. Let me move this. Wireless charging pad right here, super nice. Nice little glove compartment. Little storage bin here, not too bad. It's all pretty standard, but it's still nice. It does a really good job. Infotainment, super responsive. Yeah, overall the car is just super nice to be in. It's a nice place to spend time, but is it a nice place to drive? It is very driver oriented, so we'll see how good that is. Let's take it on the road. Let's do what this car is meant to do. Let's drive. So I'm going to strap the GoPro on my head and I'll be right back, and we'll take the car for a spin. All right. Here we are out on the road with the 2023 Kona N. Very cool car. Very cool. I'm hoping that the camera will pick up the noise of the exhaust, because that is the best thing about this car, if I'm being honest. It's so cool. It's so nice to rip around in the freaking that exhaust. Windows down in the summertime, heaven. Now, it handles quite well as well. It does drive like your typical hot hatch, so you can see this car getting compared quite a lot to the hot hatches out there. I think the price point's probably about the same too. So, you know, it is what it is there. It does drive it, but I think the hot hatches probably have a little bit better handling because they're lower to the ground. So you probably have a bit more of an advantage there. But this is still nice for what it is. For a compact SUV that gives you maybe a little bit more room, but the compactness of the performance, it's kind of like a pocket rocket. Like, it just fires around town, absolutely no problems. You can pretty much park in any space. It's so tiny, right? Like, you're really not affected by anything. This car absolutely puts power down. And again, from like a slow speed, there is a bit of torque steer. So when you hit a bump, and Quebec roads are notorious for, our lovely bumps, you're going to notice it's going to bang the steering wheel that way just a little bit. So just be careful of that when you are ripping this car. It is very fun to put power down, but be very careful when you do, because it does break traction a little bit under low speeds when you're turning sharp. It will break traction slightly. It does have launch control. However, I'm not in the best conditions. I still have summer tires on here, not the winters yet, and it's a bit cold and it's been raining. So I don't want to end up in a tree. So I won't really be using that today, but all good nonetheless. So some numbers for this spec. It's actually the Veloster N engine in here, and it's got 276 horsepower. Press this NGS button, which we will in a little bit, and you absolutely will unleash chaos. It's about 20 more horsepower to the front wheels for about 20 seconds. It's got 289 pound-feet of torque, and from a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, and an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, which is nice as well. As mentioned, the NGS button, it's probably one of the most fun buttons in this car. When I press it, you'll see exactly what happens. Let's click it. And we're flying, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. I turned it off early because I'm going up a hill, and I don't think you'll see too much performance off that, but it shifts into the lowest available gear and then absolutely just sends you flying. I mean, if this thing could take off, I think it would. My goodness, if it was any lighter, holy moly, I'd be floating, boys. I also noticed this nice N infotainment screen that you can have up pretty much all the time. It's so nice to look at, to watch the oil temps, the throttle temps, engine temps. You can have you have a lap timer. You literally have a lap timer in this car. So, you know, why not though? You know what I mean? Why not? And it also has a circuit. Right now I just have it on the default little N thing. I'm actually not on the N circuit. Don't think I'm on the N circuit. But if I press it, you can see that there's a bunch of different, there's, you know, Lime Rock Park, Homestead Miami Speedway, Atlantis Motorsports Park. There's a whole bunch. So if you ever find yourself on one of those, well, then you have the track map already, and you can start your lap timer from there, and you already know what turns are coming up for you. You could study right here in your Kona N. Really cool. This car is clearly built for the track, though. The way that it sounds, the way that if I press this N button here, I absolutely will go into complete N mode, where it does turn the traction control most off. This is your N custom mode, so I have 2 custom modes that I can use. I can customize how the car performs. I can customize, you know, from the limited slip differential, the electronic one, which this car does have, which is really cool. or I can change, you know, how the exhaust sounds. I can have the engine be in complete normal mode. I can have the engine be in basically eco mode, and I can have the throttle sound like it's in N mode, which is, it's so cool. There's so many different options that you can choose. You can really customize your driving. It really gives you the most customization I've seen in a car in a long time, and I love that. You do have paddle shifters on the side. They feel okay. I mean, they're plastic. I mean, for the price point, what honestly more do you really want? They're plastic. Shifting speeds is really fast. The dual clutch transmission is definitely refined from our 2018 Sport that we saw here on the channel just a couple months ago. Definitely refined. Definitely refined. It's insane. It's insane how good the transmission is. So now in the winter, I would definitely recommend that you get some good winter tires, because it is not a four-wheel drive car. That's one of my gripes with the car, is that it doesn't come in four-wheel drive. I think it would have sold way better if it did. For the $40K price point, all right, I get it. Well, you know, we won't complain too much about that because it is decent. But it would have been nice to see an all-wheel drive version of the Kona N. It might have been a bit quicker, a little bit better handling too. So in the winter, I don't see people driving these cars too often for winter climates. Just make sure that you have good snow tires. That will be the key to making sure that you don't slide off the road. And I don't think you'll be using N mode too much. I think you'll be keeping the traction control on probably the whole time. Yeah, there's just about covered everything between the intro and now the driving. It drives super fun. This car has grown on me. I honestly didn't think that I would like it very much. I thought the interior was maybe just a bit too boring, and the suspension was very stiff, and which it still is. I still do find the suspension is extremely rigid. If you go over a massive pothole, you will need to visit a chiropractor, because it does rattle the spine quite a lot. So just keep that in mind. Just to put that out there. It's a spine rattler when you hit big potholes. And in Quebec, there's about a big pothole every kilometer. So just keep that in mind. Make yourself a mental note if you're in the market for one of these. But yeah, I think that'll about do it for the driving. I don't want to give this car in. It's absolutely grown on me. I absolutely am having a blast driving it. It doesn't get old. That exhaust is probably the best thing, and I'll include a couple of shots in there so you guys can really hear how it is. My goodness, it's loud when it's just right next up to the phone. So super fun to drive. And yeah, I think we'll just cut it there. I'll say thanks for watching. If you have this far, if you have watched this far, let me know. I want to know who's making it this far into the video, because, you know, YouTube and that all holy watch time. Leave a like. Likes help us more than you know. Subscribe to PRN. Subscribe to the channel. You can catch me on there too. I actually just finished reviewing this car on there. So subscribe to PRN. Check them out. Check me out on there. Check me out on here. Subscribe if you want to see more content. You know, I can get more press cars the more subscribers I have, the different kind of cars I can get, and the more doors open up for me and you, the viewer, to bring you these different types of cars. So if you're in the market for one of these, let me know. I'm always in the comments. I respond to every single comment I get. DM me, whatever. Follow me on Instagram, technically_cars. You can find me absolutely everywhere on social media. I'll be doing different posts for this car too, and any questions you might have, you can go ahead and reach out to me. I'm more than happy to have a little conversation on the Kona N with you. So that's been the 2023 Kona N. It's been great. Thanks so much again for watching. Like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.